Hello everyone and welcome back. This is going to be a Regulatory Tuesday on a Wednesday, and today we are going to be talking about Department of Air Quality, or DEQ, or whatever you want to call it. It depends on your state as to what it's called, and the fact that here in Oregon, even coffee roasters and bakeries have to be closely monitored for air pollution. Now, here's something I want to talk about. I understand that there are certain aspects of industrial processing that are dangerous. And I also understand that we need to be careful about how we do these things for the personal good of the worker. However, I don't think that we need the insane amount of government interference that we are getting in these fields. Now, I'm looking at an article from Wired magazine, which states that a study in 2015 from the Oregon Health and Science University, OHSU, who I don't really trust because they've done a lot of really bad studies, are stating that individuals working in coffee roasting could be receiving dielectric poisoning because the quantity of dielectric in the air at these roasters are 4 times higher than the CDC's tentative allowed levels. And so much of this is dealing with non-flavored coffees. And there isn't a whole lot being talked about this because there's not very much evidence that this is actually happening in most places. However, there are already being prohibitions and legal repercussions for roasting coffee that are being put into effect, specifically in Oregon, where you now have to get registered, certified, and monitored by the state's DEQ office if you're running a coffee roasting business. You don't just need industrial safety, you have to have a complete certification by the stamp of the state's "you are not polluting" office, or "you are not polluting too much" office. And that's getting a bit overboard. I mean, human beings have been roasting coffee for thousands of years. Do we really think, if it was as dangerous as this study leads us to believe, that people would have been doing this for thousands of years and not noticed? I think that some of these flavored coffees, where we're adding things to the bean, could be causing the problem, but I don't think that just standard coffee roasting is that big of an issue, even through the industrialized process. And if it is, then we need to maybe refine the process so that we're not doing something that's dangerous to the workers. And that could just mean changing the type of roaster used, not creating a whole new set of government bureaucracy to monitor this. Now, coffee roasting is not already heavily regulated in every state, but I could see it quickly becoming heavily regulated in every state. And while currently it is primarily the left coast and very, very, very progressive states that are doing this, I think eventually they're going to try to push that it be done on a national level through the EPA. And I mean, the EPA is already mandating and dictating charcoal production methodologies and everything else. And it's getting to the point where they are creating so many barriers to competition that new companies can't be formed to compete against companies already standing. And it's just harming our economy. Well, I'm going to include the article from Wired as well as the government page, that's oregon.gov/DEQ forms, for you to peruse at your leisure. They'll be in the description down below. Please feel free to comment and discuss this. Also, if you have a recommendation for a Regulatory Tuesday, please leave a comment down below as to what you'd like me to cover. Leave the state and the regulation name, and I will look it up and do a little research and discuss it on a podcast in the future. If you'd like to do it on minds.com as well, you're welcome to do that. Or if you just want to subscribe and like or upvote and follow, feel free to do that as well. Thank you all again for joining me on this Regulatory Tuesday on a Wednesday. Sorry I had to shift Regulatory Tuesday, but it will go back to Tuesday next week. It's just the 4th of July was a special day in the U.S. that we celebrate the founding of our nation, and so I was busy celebrating. Thank you all again, and have yourselves a wonderful day.